what is going on. Mr. Foster, at the brain active mode. He has a very keen interest in education, and it is a person who is not only paying lip service as far as education is concerned. Many times, and I want to thank you for the honorable government, some people are very, Afrikaans is a very beautiful language. Sommige mensen is baie posisie the best. It is very difficult to access some politicians. You have to make an appointment and then you have to pray to God and also make sure that the devil supports you if you want to really see some politicians. And then you will also invite them to an activity. This is not a spite at anybody, I'm talking the truth. And then they don't come. Yeah, it's true. But every time we invite the governor, he preaches, he comes. Now, Honorable Governor, in 2012, January, that was maybe 2 months after I assumed office, I got an instruction to gather all the teachers right here in this hall. Because the governor wanted to talk to the teachers. And they were here. But I only later on realized one of the reasons why he let the teachers come. He wanted to introduce the new director to the teachers. And I'm very grateful for that. Because I thought from the point of view of an economist, somebody who has to make sure that the funds are spent wisely. I was saying, but why should all the teachers come here and we have to expend so much money? And it's only during the proceedings that I came to realize through his statement that he wanted the people to know that there is a new person who came to either do the right thing or to do the wrong things in our region and see this person. In 2030, he changed his strategy. He did not tell me to call the teachers. He told me, I want to go and engage the teachers in the localities where they are. And he did not ask me when I would be available. He informed me when he would be in Lutrich, and I went to Lutrich. He did not invite me. He just said, Director, I will be in Lutrich. I want to see the teachers there. I want to meet and talk to the teachers. Now, if you are a little bit aware of how politics operate, if the Minister of Health goes to the Walvis Bay State Hospital, you as the Regional Director of Health don't need any invitation. You have to be there. Because questions will be asked that only you will have to answer. Now sometimes people are asking, but Director, what are you going to do there when the President goes to us again? People think that we are traveling simply because we want to travel. You just have to be there because you are entrusted with that particular sector. And you have to account for that. When we were done in Lutrich, he told me I will be in Kharas on such and such a day, and we went to Kharas. The Honorable Governor also had an opportunity to meet the teachers in the Kalahari Sector, here in Cape Town, on various platforms that he addressed. But every year, he had the opportunity to meet the principals during the past 2 years. This January, we were at the Central Lodge or Hotel. The Bird's Nest. Mentions. You know, the names of places changed, as owners have changed also. But we were at best, where the governor also talked to the principals. At the beginning of this year, the governor said, Director, I have a trip to undertake in the Kabambo region, and I want some of your teachers, heads of department, principals, advising teachers and inspectors of education to accompany me on this trip. What I want is for them to go and observe what the people are doing there. The magic stick that they are using there, that makes that region perform better than our region. And we send inspectors of education, principals and advisory teachers to the Honorable Governor. Honorable Governor, I trust that you received the report on that trip, the impressions of my people after they went there. They are very excited. Some principals started to implement what they have seen there already. And there was a school where half of the learners were standing outside the gate after 7 o'clock. The principal said, "No, I'm not going to open this gate. You are late, go home." And when we asked, he said, "That's what the people are doing in Kawambo." The children report on time, and the teachers report on time, and they spend quite a lot of time on task. So anybody who comes late is to stay outside. And we had to intervene and say, "Yes, sir, those kids will roam about in the streets and they will cause more trouble. Please let them come in and apply the school rules to discipline the children." And I'm very glad that my people were there. Honorable Governor, it's my privilege and honor to call you, invite you to the podium to address the teachers on the topic. Teachers can make a difference, and also take over the keynote address that was supposed to be presented by Honorable Dr. David Namondi, the Minister of Education, who is not here today due to other unforeseen circumstances that has derailed some of our plans. Ladies and gentlemen, let us rise to invite the Honorable Governor to the podium.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
You can now put it on the other screen, the other,
Director of Education, everybody, thank you very much for the podium. I wish to first and foremost acknowledge the protocol that was established, thank God, by the Director of Proceedings before and confirmed by the Director of Education. Safe to say that I am very happy that we have been able to have real-world masters in Uppington. I'm very happy. Director Barons worked at UNES for 5 years and did not behave politically correct, and at independence had to go back to Uppington. But he says to me that he has implemented everything he learned at Rebo, including, at times, ways of communication that convey particular messages, and it works. Director and the team, comrade from the union, we are happy to have you, Comrade March, as librarian here in April, and that you are joining us.
the picture here throws another image.
I'm very happy to see also
It's noisy.
some young people,
No.
those days,
In mirror image.
who through NANSO
Or is it because
got new names. from Gibio. Uhuru is not Uhuru Christian by his parents. His name is Ignatius Dempers. But apparently at Nanso he had to introduce peace as a way of surviving the South Africans. He really became Uhuru. We're happy that you're also here. I'm also pleased, Director of Education, to have Comrade Richard Cook, whom I don't blame for the food. Comrade Cook is, through the foundation, a very, very, very genuine partner. We really love you. We admire and appreciate what you do. Please continue. Sandra van Zyl is a Tanny of mine. We would go to Ruby College to instigate demonstrations. We want to remove this woman. She is a dictator. We'd always lose the case. But we were happy when she was eventually transferred to Bento, only today to confess to her privately that after we eventually succeeded to removing her, we realized that Rundu College, well, is what it is today. We're happy to have you here. She's really a role model, a very strong woman, and we admire you, really. Thank you for having come. You say these things when you're older. I'm particularly also Director of Education happy to see old faces that refuse to retire. Mrs. Daniels is one such face. Young faces that have matured. I'm happy to see all our guests that have been invited, and I'm happy to see you. But I want to do this just so that I know that everyone is here. The teachers from Kiet Mansour, if you are here and you are teaching in Kiet Mansour, can you please stand? Okay. Thank you very much. Teachers from Kharas, Ariam's Play, Brunei, where the bar is. Please stand. Please stand. Tabes, Marambat. Marambat. Haira Habes. Noor also they are also joined the colleagues. I see Mr. Bali. Yes. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Teachers from the extreme east of the region. Arawak. I'm not so sure, Director of Education, whether you noticed as Dominic, as a guy was coming to receive his prize, that he had a swear in his wall. And I thought he was maybe lumping, but the swear continued until he arrived. And I was watching his son, wondering about the other people that he would do. But well done, Mr. Sakai, well done, well done. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Kharas, Kharas, Sylvia, they are always together. It happens when people are from the flood areas. They are together. Where there are mountains, some people are behind mountains and so on. Kharas, you see things 30 kilos from your house. Welcome. Tess, I don't see Pauline. Tess, Miss Pauline. Yes, yes, yes. Beersheba. Thank you, Tess, thank you. Beersheba. Just nearby Johannesburg, there is also a place called Beersheba. Yeah, it has precisely the same fundamentals as the one we have here. Beersheba, where's Mr. Six? He left. I see. Okay, very good. Amigo, why did I not see you standing up, you and the young Asakai and so on, when I asked for Ketman speakers and Mugunda, I didn't see as well. But I see you at other places, but it's okay. Thank you. Namimo's house, I know as Buddha was of Queeran, Snake from Great Houses, was, etc., etc. Betane, horses, it's difficult with these words. Horses, houses, house, house. Okay, you're all here. Thank you very much. Director Amasen, I like the preponderance of young faces in the profession. It's quite striking. Young faces. Yeah, go ahead. Manimos, Rospina, Orange, the kind people. For those that are waiting for Lutherans, that is Lutherans. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to recognize also retired teachers such as Mr. Adams. There was a man called Financius Vicoro in grade 8, grade 9 at junior secondary school, who had a strategy to disturb Mr. Adams on Friday afternoons, end of the month. And I waited for an opportunity to, at this stage, inform Mr. Adams why Financiers did what he did Friday last year at Afrikaans. We didn't want to have class, Mr. Adams, that's why he provoked you. And Mr. Adams, for those 2-3 years, would promote fall for the provocations and respond to financiers, whom some of us actually instigated to cause a disturbance, to allow us to focus on what could be done during the weekend. And financiers would, for instance, chew gum and pull it very, very distant from the lips. And of course, Mr. Adams, being what he is, Mr. Wambo would respond. And Mr. Adams would try to instill discipline out of a 45-minute period using exactly 35 minutes. Then, of course, we would inform him that we probably need to clean the class, and we would be happy if Mr. Isaacs on the intercom would then start to announce what would happen Monday. That would take usually 5 minutes. Then the end of the school for Friday has registered. And that is how we, but only on the end of the month, not now. I think we did it every Friday. But that was the strategy, Mr. Adams. That was the strategy. Please applaud him for good work done Friday afternoon. I want to say a special thanks to Yvonne Moster, who is seated next to her husband, Mr. Jam. Mr. Jam Moster. The Jam includes his name and surname, J.A. Moster. Jam. We are pleased with the services that you have rendered. Godspeed and His blessings. You are not a loss. You have been promoted to take care of the fewer. Congratulations also for the appointment. Let me go to serious business. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several ways in which the quality of education outcomes can be improved in a system. One of the ways would be to overhaul the education system in totality and develop an entirely new curriculum and produce appropriate teaching and learning material. Another way could be to improve the quality of educational outcomes by means of changing the manner in which teachers are trained at teacher training institutions. One may also improve the quality of educational outcomes via reviewing and adapting the curriculum content. However, Director of Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, it would be in vain if one would opt for any of the above mentioned strategies to enhance the quality of education outcomes if you would ignore the fact that the quality of education that learners receive is highly dependent on what transpires between a teacher and a learner within the classroom context during the teaching and learning process. In simple terms, effectiveness of any education system depends on teacher effectiveness. Teacher effectiveness is one of the most, if not the fundamental processes of any learner of school-going age. On our visit to Kavango, that point was underlined with the greatest of clarity. For instance, in respect of our principals that joined us on this journey, it was clear to them, I trust, and to us, we believe, that the school principal must be in charge of the school in its totality. And that the school teacher must be in charge in totality of learning and teaching that occurs in the classroom. Subsequent to our visit, I received reports, as was indicated by the Director of Education, from the teachers that accompanied us on this important journey. This is the report that they have compiled regarding their own experiences, personally and professionally, as to what it is that can be done to improve conditions of learning and teaching, taking from the experiences from Kavango. While I commend the colleagues who have drafted a good report, for having shared their experiences, and for having made good recommendations as to what we can implement immediately in the medium as well as in the long term, it is nonetheless striking to me that almost 80% of the reports received from my colleagues that went with me refers to two issues. First, my colleagues refer to learner discipline, confidence, and self-motivation. And secondly, do little to talk about the role and responsibility, the motivation of teachers at the school terrain. It is striking to me, therefore, Director, that perhaps the biggest challenge in the perception of our colleagues as teachers is that they probably expect a well-rounded, disciplined, decent, Catholic-oriented child in the classroom before they too can become effective, diligent, motivated teachers. In going through this report, I could not thank the leadership of Comrade Boise and his entire team for us for intervening in the manner that you have done here by convening this important gathering to analyze the total mendacity of a teacher, of a principal, and to locate the central success of education outcomes directly on the shoulders of our teachers. I've seen that in this report too, while I'm proud of these colleagues, as distinguished as they are, and as hardworking as they are, that there is still significant apologetic attitude in respect of what should first occur before things can get better. It is, in my view, Director, an attitude of let me stand back first, so that all else is done by everyone else, including the state, including the parents, including the police forces, including the shebeen owners, including those businesses like the one presented by Comrade Cook, before I, as a teacher, become motivated and start to push myself to a different level of performance. I've also analyzed this report from a Director of Education, asking in that report which questions I soon intend to distribute to the colleagues that attended this journey with me, as to why the teachers of Kavango at the three schools visited are motivated despite the odds. Why these teachers go the extra mile despite the odds. Why these teachers are committed to their children and to their schools and pride themselves in their own legacy and in their own achievements as individuals. Why they have those kinds of traits and how we can, as a team, generate those traits within ourselves. I've also noted from the Director in this report that we are not focusing on self-motivation, but on external motivation because the conditions outside permit us to be motivated. This creates a reverse responsibility and role change that is detrimental to education outcomes which we wish to see. It is for this reason that it is imperative that the teacher should understand the physical, mental, emotional, developmental, economic, and social status of society and these precise stages of the object of education, the child, in order that the teacher can develop a rapport of trust and respect for the learners and develop a particular sense of intra-motivation as it relates to the national conditions which I referred to around the state of economic development, social and other challenges in our society. If not, if it is the expectation of our teachers that first development, social and economic, cultural, and therefore, conditions within the classroom improve fast before harder, smarter, and effective work can be done, then the very purpose of education itself is defeated. Because it is part and parcel of the educational dichotomy that from a poor, underdeveloped condition, where knowledge is scarce, where discipline lacks, where expectations are low, where poverty is high, where income differences are stark, where society is confronted by ills of numerous nature, precisely from those conditions must come the kind of educational interventions to precisely reverse those very trends and trends in society. It cannot work the other way. You can't expect a disciplined classroom before you start teaching. That doesn't work. You can't expect perfect conditions, perfect salary, perfect class conditions, perfect colleagues, perfect educational qualifications before you do your part. Corporate Director of Proceedings, Director of Education. In relation, therefore, to the above, I find one important matter that we must highlight. That is the important question of learning guarantee. By the shortest possible definition, learning guarantee consists of the more serious and deeper issues, such as understanding the pedagogical processes in the classroom, clear understanding by the teachers of what competencies are to be developed among learners, the classroom practices that bring out the best among children in the most non-threatening and exciting manner, the compatible spirit that the school is able to create together with the parents' untiring interest in their children's learning, the pressures created by an active and lively parent-teacher interaction for better delivery of learning in the school, and the continuous support by the relevant educational authority as part of the overall social and educational process. That understanding often lacks, and it is therefore the result of, in my view, a significant inability for teachers and educational managers to address the question of accountability in the classroom and accountability as it relates to the overall performance, or in this instance, the decline of our results. We have not been able to account as to what has happened over the years, necessarily. And I, from the director, kept on asking the question since I came here. Is it the case, in plain English, that the children from the 1990s were more smarter than the children from the 21st century? Is it the case? And if that is the case, what methodologies have been used to arrive at the conclusion that the children today in schools are plain stupid and therefore cannot be expected to perform better? This is what I've been asking. And it is for this reason that I am suggesting that we look to the matter of learning guarantee, value for money, service delivery, and as the director from Rehoboth, later Uppington, Comrade Barron said, eventually to account for the products of the system by ensuring that they add value to the world. Now, I will not do what Sylvia Mokhone did to say that nothing happens here. I don't agree with her. Don't agree with her. But I will agree with her to say that much needs to change, much change needs to happen. Many pastors here, Reverend Thomases, Sister Fishpan, and so on. Pastor Azanai. And they will tell you, as Reverend Thomases has done, around the question of morality, that whatever it is that we do, in the absence of the director or the principal, that the appropriate moral conduct will guide us to do what is best for the children at that particular moment, whenever it occurs. Because our work is work for society. I'm therefore hopeful, from the Director of Education, that this conference of the teachers will come up with solutions that have a particular composition of various approaches, including the approach to change attitudes toward work, being a teacher, so that the quality, not only the results, but the quality and the content of education can improve. There is one girl that was a top performer, Doreen Kharas, that is a top performer at one of the secondary schools in Kaapstad. She was the top performer. Now, when you hear top performer, you expect other things. But the top performer at that particular school merely scored 25 points. It's in town here. It's in town here. What does it therefore say? Even when we have top performers, about the real substance of those top performers. I'm not going to talk about the teachers that you gave prizes to, because you have said that they are top performers in their grades. That's what you said. They came here, they got checks, money, not laptops, and top labs, and so on. I'm wondering, and I hope that they will wonder with me, about whether they will sustain that very performance and in fact improve that performance, Mr. Slapper. And I hope that they too will now not believe that their top, for which they have been awarded, is the best. Your top may not necessarily be the best in respect of what society expects. Comrade Director, in respect of learning guarantee, I hope that at the end of this conference, that we will have established a regional task force with a sole mandate of devising a strategic intervention plan and a higher standard of teaching and learning in our region. A standing task force that will be dedicated to unteasing learning and teaching, because my concern relates to interventions that may not be appreciated sufficiently by the teaching corps. Just recently, Comrade Director, the Directorate arranged ICT training for many of our teachers. Trainings were held in places like Kharas together with the Northern Cape, for which we applaud and appreciate your efforts and that of Comrade Baron for having intervened as friends, as compatriots, to show up our lack in the ICT area. Instructions were given to the teachers that attended this training that they must go back immediately and put up the whiteboards and start to share the learning and teaching of how those processes work. I'm informed, Dr. Julie, that at Kharas that has not yet been done. Have you done that now? Because last week you still have not done that at Kharas.
Yes, he's struggling with the cables.
The cables are $22.50 How can we struggle with cables? It was the same thing for the internet usage during the beginning of the year. Comrade Christians, that suddenly schools did not have internet access. And of late, I have seen a campaign against the Directorate Office. SMSs through the Republican newspaper, targeting and attacking the regional office for this, that, and the other. I've seen it. And it's anonymous, and I'm happy that the director responded to those anonymous text messages to the newspapers that could be resolved here internally. When will you sort out the cable matter?
Mr. Paulus is
Immediately.
here.
It is your area. Who's the step Mr. Oh. Well, Mr. Kharas, it is your area. I intend to visit that school, and I will ask Lexi to have a cable just in case there is no cable. We are interacting. Dr. Julie is my OC. That's why I can say these things to her. Comrade Director, I'm doing two things at once. I'm about to be finished. And not me, in terms of what I do. I will live long. I'm extremely happy that this conference is held under the theme Embracing Teacher-to-Teacher Interaction for Quality Learning. Director, my understanding, colleagues, is embracing means to give it all, to withhold none. And I hope that the outcomes of this conference will be to promote further teacher-to-teacher interaction towards increasing teacher effectiveness, to identify effective teacher models, and to incorporate in that interaction what constitutes an effective teacher, to further enhance the role of the inspectors of education, of principals, of advisory teachers, heads of department, for improving leadership effectiveness. Most of the director of education, most or a significant number of the principals in this region, I must say, absolutely lack the basic leadership qualities. Many of these principals refuse to take total responsibility for the schools. Many of the principals refuse to engage problematic teachers or to assist teachers with particular difficulties. Most of the principals engage in reporting to the director's office and or the head office or gossip of newly recruited teachers in the profession, discouraging these young teachers, not mentoring them sufficiently. Most of the teachers concentrate also on rights only. Most of the principals concentrate on projecting unnecessary authority beyond the scope of that very authority. Recently, I was briefed by a principal about how some of the newly recruited teachers can stir up ethnic and tribal sentiments and wish to tell others that they are related to this minister or that permanent secretary and that they were not handpicked because they were in an accident, which accident did not leave them paralyzed, hospitalized, or broken, but refused to hand in on time examination scripts and started to say that because they are Ovampo, they are being discriminated against. I have full details about this matter. And I said to that principal, I will talk to the director, but I said to the principal, if you are guilty of tribal tendencies, that is wrong. But I also said to him, if you know that these teachers from whatever ethnic orientation they come are plain lazy, don't let you be scared because someone is related to whoever from planet Earth. Our school terrain has very little to do with ethnicity outside the scope of education and how you will analyze to arrive at conclusions to assess because of a particular background of a particular student, that student because of a cultural dimension, except for that intervention. Our schools have nothing to do with your tribe, your ethnic orientation, even your sexual orientation. Equally also, schools don't have anything at all to do with who you are related to and how rich or how powerful that person is. You have come to work, you werk moeten. Jy werk. As anybody lost his work, come and see. Come and see. Equally also, principals that have been in schools with a mono-dimensional ethnic orientation for years should also not make other Namibians feel unwelcome in very subtle ways, very inconspicuous ways to frustrate other Namibians out of the system. Because I know that just like from the Northern Cape we're related, look at the Director Barons. He looks like Mr. Williams, for instance. We are the same. If Daniels looks like the college guy, he could be a son of her, for instance. So we are related. But the challenge to this region is that we have been very often to gather the same people for centuries And we tend to protect one another, we tend to defend one another, we tend to reject new ideas, and we tend to keep to whom we know. I am still a teacher effectiveness. And that's an important question. Because part of teacher effectiveness must also help us through this conference to revisit the use of the cluster system in Namibia for increasing that very effectiveness that we so much want to see. We must also, therefore, in this conference look at multi-grade teaching approaches within a multi-level mono-grade teaching context for enhancing inclusive educational practices. Sandra, I didn't learn this at the colleges. You know. It was not a good college. Please applaud Frau Sandra van Zee, whom we wanted to get out of Hindu college. Director of Proceedings. For the first time in the history of this republic, education will be second only to health in terms of the annual budgetary subvention. However, the allocation of 95% is spent on programs such as remuneration, procurement of stationery, textbook expenditure, payment of utilities such as electricity, water, catering, security services, rental fees for transport, fueling vehicles, subsistence and travel allowances, pumping of septic tanks, refuse removal, adequate relocation of staff, and overtime work, as well as the maintenance of minor renovations and equipment and physical infrastructure. Only 6% of the total allocation is for development projects like the construction of new schools and classrooms. That having been said, nonetheless, the following has happened in this region or is about to happen. Secondary school construction in Rospina, primary school Ambrosis Amtenya in Wainimu, Servant office for Kalari Center, renovation of northern wing of PK Novellius Secondary School Boys Hostel, renovation of the Lordsville Junior Secondary School Boys Hostel, construction of 2x2 flats and 3-bedroom house in Rockwood. Buxton Combined School in Rospina is using a platoon system, and it is therefore that we need to invest a $6 million in this financial year, in the next couple of weeks, to build a new secondary school in that mining town. And the Wainimu Ambrosis Amtenya Primary School is housed entirely free of charge, courtesy of NAMDEC, a company that I don't like, but nonetheless, especially the tech part, the De Beers part. De Beers did zero for this region. They went, De Beers, and built Concordia College in Vancouver. Now you tell me, today and today, has there been a diamond mine in Vancouver? But they went and constructed a school, a college, with a foreign name, Concordia, whatever that means, up there. Now we are hiding behind Namibia as part of NAMDEC, and we have to hold our tongues a little bit, because you are shooting yourself in the foot, but you are. They have exploited this region, exported the wealth of the peoples of this land, particularly not granting any development of meaningful proportion to this region for years. For years. And we have not yet learned the lesson sufficiently, because scorpion seed is 100% Indian owned. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. How do you do that? 100%. Comrade Director, and you have to struggle for a piece of land from these people for 2.5 years. Our land, not Indian, it's Namibian sand. You won't believe what Mama says, how they made the director look like a lying pumpkin. I was in a meeting with those people that I walked out, at which point they arrested me in their own body, where the police had to call the police as the instruction. Only then did they give way. Because the director is lying. We gave him all the information. They are misunderstanding what we are saying. They did not get the right message. They did not come to see us. All of the nonsense. All of it. They last week asked for a meeting. I boycotted that bladder meeting. Because how do you want to get people to that level? To that level. You should do it because you employ 600-700 Namibians. Is that why we should be begging you? And you are wagging your tail and we are tail in the legs? No. Don't accept these instruments. So I'm not saying Julius Malema stories, but I'm saying don't accept it. We will also commence a $6 million construction of a new school in Oranjemund during the course of May instant now. The current offers, Kharas separate offers $2 million that was spent, whilst the old German hostel is undergoing minor structural reconstruction for an amount of $4 million for housing in another new school that was established in 2013 under Okwena Secondary School. 13 additional classrooms to the value of $2.9 million are now under construction in the Kharas region, and the beneficiary schools are Adam Street Combined School, Kreslota, Ernest Jagger, Noordpool Junior Secondary School, SC Police Primary School. Primary grade population in Namibian Lutheran's, it's of course also election year. The funds that were spent there, yeah, 2 million, 2.9, 6 million. Did Kharas give up? Did Kharas give up? Anunta, primary grade level population in Namibian and get funds calls for construction of additional primary schools in these two localities. And project identification forms PIPs were completed and submitted to the Planning Commission for the construction of primary school. Also here, primary school also employs a double shift system to the level of classroom, whilst the teachers are living in very harsh conditions in Osingia due to lack of housing. Luckily, this regional education directorate is fortunate in that it submitted a request and tabled a face-to-face report to two great companies operating in Osingia Valley, namely Cape Spain and Cape Orchard Company, that promised to consider assisting Osingia Primary School with the construction of additional classrooms and teacher housing units, respectively. Our utmost gratitude therefore goes to Cape Spain and Cape Orchard, as well as Cap Agri Limited. In Osingia, we pledge to sell building materials as well as Cape Agri. In Osingia, we pledge to sell building materials at a discounted price to a company that will construct the classrooms and teacher housing units. Wonderful. Plans are also afoot, a little bit outside the Directorate of Education, but nonetheless within the region. It's part of the education outcome process. Plans also afoot in Bethany for the construction of a vocational training center where they have a private sector NGO in the German Special Initiative. That process is fairly in an advanced stage, and we look forward to this new vocational training center. Kharas primary school replacement of physical infrastructure that was destroyed by fire in 2013. Site handovers have been done for 3 companies that were responsible for construction of 3 classrooms, 2 specialized classes in the evolution facility. Foundations have been completed, etc., etc., etc. Projects funded by basic education facilities are the ones that I mentioned before. In Warmbad, the Marcel Duracher Primary School hostel is undergoing refurbishment, and the job is expected to be completed in mid-April. Water tanks were erected at Geduld, using a lot of Geduld, but Geduld Primary School as well as Kharas Primary School. Interest that was generated from the monies in the current account of this regional education director were utilized to completely renovate the buildings of the Marble Primary School in house, as well as to convert container toilets for Ambrosius and Mutenge Primary School. 4 additional classrooms were constructed at EHW Bar Primary School to accommodate learners after the division of EHW Bar Combined School into a primary and junior secondary school. Director of Education, Director of Proceeding, the Anglo-American Foundation has been supporting the Government of the Republic of Namibia by ensuring access to quality education for all school-going children through honoring their corporate social responsibility by way of supporting schools with the above projects, which include renovation and extension of the hostel of Kharas, renovation of toilet facilities at RMCA, renovation of toilet facility at Chris Local Primary School, construction of school hall for the SC Police Primary School in State. Meneer Baton, hoe ver is julle met julle schoolproject? Sal project. Last one online. Starting with the first phase. Is it perpendicular? Daniels, he would teach us geography, and everything in geography was perpendicular. So we start with the first phase. It is perpendicular with your hands. Anglo, I'm not going to be right also. You see, I like Comrade Cook, except for the surname. He wears huge glasses. Huge. And the idea is to see where to spend the money. Director of Education was making fun of my glasses. It was fashion those days. Fashion. I had a look now, and they were not perpendicular to me. Director of Ceremonies, you are also aware that we have a situation where one teacher is responsible for teaching more than one grade in the same classroom simultaneously during the same lesson period, and this is called directed teaching. This situation is unacceptable. And while I understand the difficulties and the reason why multi-grade teaching has to take place, particularly in very small and remote rural areas, the challenge that it brings forth is that it limits the output of effective education inputs. This is the challenge. The report, as I referred to above, in respect of Kavango, St. Boniface, and the other two schools that are visited, will be made available after I sit with the comrade director and comrades that accompanied us on this journey. Precisely because we want to study carefully what we can immediately implement without negating the fact that these schools sometimes, in particular St. Boniface, has the luxury of selecting the best learners. I know the teachers. I know the teachers. It's not always easy. But while we deliver critique, we must also be analytical. So we understand. Out of 400 applications, for instance, 80 are considered successful. Like St. Boniface. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But may I say this? Munekarma.
Those 80 are together.
Yeah, they are all
Die
together.
Jobloma.
Yeah, they are together.
Die Ransit. Jy.
But who says that those so-called best students are top of the range in the country as they enter that school? Some work still goes into making them what they are in grade 10 and in grade 12. So it is possible to get above average students in public schools and reduce them to below average. It is also possible to get above average students and make them top performers. It is possible. It is really possible. And that is why I am contemplating very strongly for the creation of a model school, private school, in a place like Baramba or Bethany, but not Beersheba. There are already some private schools that will make it happen. But I'm strongly considering the possibility of a private school with the Roman Catholic Church along the lines of St. Boniface. I'm looking at that. I started consultations. It seems like a possibility. I have the principal also in mind. Principal is somewhere here. I have some teachers in mind. Now you see, I'm still talking about I must still go to the boss. Because private schools sometimes go to the $1 billion ministry and say, "Come on, director, can you solidarity, like Mr. Nyal is going to a private school, but we are not all writing people in Varamba, just Varamba." So I'm still talking about but I'm contemplating strongly a private school together with the Catholic Church in this region, hopefully in the next 2 years. Now, are you listening to what I'm saying? I'm saying in the next 2 years because I know my term of office comes to an end next year. Next 2 years. Next 2 years. And for the better, do not hold me longer. I will do all the reports, all the fundraising, and the technical other things I will now say I gladly hand over to my successor. It could be Councillor James, and I'll say, please, proceed. you know. Maybe Mr. Asagai could be colleagues. I'm about to finish. We have in our midst experts on multi-grade teaching from the Northern Cape Province. Northern Cape Province is 30% of South Africa's land mass. It's the largest province in size. Kharas region is 20%. Northern Cape has diamonds. Yes, true, they found the biggest diamond in Kimberley. Kharas have diamonds, but we have the most nicest diamonds. No comments on that. But Northern Cape's development is moving along the lines of what our development is moving. For instance, they now got a university in Kimberley for the first time. We will also get a university far away from Kimberley in Cape Town. We have the same history, language, culture, and orientation. Go to Priska on a Saturday afternoon, you see what I mean? Go to Priska. Go to Priska. So we are happy, Comrade Director of Education, our Comrade Director of Education, Comrade Baron, for the work that the two of you with your teams are doing in fast-tracking the twinning agreement in very real and meaningful ways, and to keep close contact on a daily basis to improve our collective efforts across the river here. It is working. It is working. At the political level, you know how politicians are self-centered and we have an exaggerated sense of importance. When the premier, that side is available, I'm this side not available. When I'm available that side, the premier is that side not available. So it has been difficult at the political level to fast track things, but the contacts are there, the work is there, but at the directorate level, it is moving fast. And we commend you for that. Corporate director, two directors. Please pass on message of appreciation to the premier there in Northern Cape. I know there are elections, and it's tough. There are reports, it's tough, but we know that education will not stand still. May I also say this, that while we have delivered critique and criticism about the work of teachers in the region, about the challenges that we have, that there are success stories that we can be proud of. Things are not standing still. Airwalk has, for the past couple of years, for instance, been the national champion in terms of some important competitions. The region in Connie, Balance is here. There is, of course, also Connie Bantamar. But Connie Balance has been leading the science fair, and we have been champions for all these years, except last year, where we got a second prize, I think. So we are moving infrastructure development, ICT interventions. This is how we made. When I look at the young versus the old ratio, we are one of the regions that enjoys a large proportion of young teachers coming into the system. That gives hope. That gives new opportunity for us to do things better. We have seen teenage pregnancies that have gone down. We have seen enrollment rates that have gone up. We have also, of course, seen that although we are not entirely happy, there is a slow but certain improvement in terms of the national rankings of the region in grade 10 and grade 12. But it should not be about the national rankings, because the national rankings themselves compare things that are not comparable. Some regions specialize in other types of areas of schooling. We have a little different specialization in some respects in terms of the numbers. Now, someone was contesting the fact that given the numbers that we have in the region as compared to other regions in terms of the school population, probability will be that other regions will always do better than us. Probability. Of course, there is something else called possibility. But bottom line is, I find that the national rankings do not always compare apples with apples. This is my sense. It compares bananas and rotten oranges with coconut, for instance. You can go about this debate. Someone sent an SMS saying that, the rankings are a percentage, and therefore percentages are also and always a good reflection. But you see, and then the person mistakenly, I think, went on to say, when we compare GDPs of countries, you find that a smaller country can have a greater GDP than a bigger country. You should have said that, or she should have said that, because we know that GDP is the most mistaken measure of a country's economy. One country can just have the largest oil reserves in the world and be a rich country in terms of GDP. But in terms of infrastructure and other economic sectors, that country may be in tatters. And this is the problem with GDP. Of course, GDP does not also compare intellect. It does not compare history. It does not necessarily compare riches that are in the country. It does not compare hope. It does not compare ability to learn fast. It does not compare cultural orientation. GDP does not compare those things. It takes productive sectors, gives a probability of a comparison of those sectors as it relates to other things in other countries or similar things, and therefore says this is the output. This is what I think the rankings are doing to us. Because if we go higher up in the rankings, we may think that we are succeeding, but we may not necessarily be succeeding. Because our children, and there was one boy that we recently met who scored 47 points and became arrogant, and we were just sitting down and saying, you see, if we compare you in terms of value, you have scored 1 in history, while the other child that has 42 has scored 1 in mathematics. You have scored 1 in Afrikaans, but the other child has scored 1 in geography. You have scored 1 in English. The other child has scored 1 in biology. So if we now have to go in terms of national priorities and compare worthiness, someone that has 47 may not necessarily be the kind of person we may want to invest in, because we want scientists probably more. I'm not saying that's how it works, but I'm just saying that the higher we go up in the success ladder of rankings, the less we may be concerned. On a final note, is the profile here? My profile. She's not here. Well, I was going to highlight one of the aspects of effective teaching outside the classroom. From Fryer and Mr. Fryer, together with the late son who was a teacher here, have been cooking, milling pap, slaughtering donkey and goat, sometimes from their own resources, and feeding a number of school-going children inside Lagte for a number of years. And these kids would come to them and say that this is the only meal that we would have for the day. And initially when they started this, she started it first, they had concerns that the children may be shy to come and get the milk pap. But to the contrary, they have been coming, and the numbers have actually grown, and we probably have to support. Not from sponsors, no, from our own pockets. Because when sponsors start to come in, people start to stand back. There is also a model that the Swartbooi Bandana used at Schmellenville, Mahou Empowerment. Mahou Empowerment. As a result of Mahou, the Bandana got promotion. How? At Schmellenville, for afternoon classes and for block classes, she would produce a significant amount of mahou, generate a distribution system of mahou in the school terrain, and ensure that through mahou, kids would be able to sit at the school and have opportunity to study. No wonder Schmellenville rated higher over the past year in terms of their performance. Omage for your role, Bantama. So, mahou works. Mahou works. Those that don't know mahou and the mechanics of mahou, ask Bantama. I'm told that her daughter would sometimes call her Mama Mahou about those other challenges. Colleagues, to be honest, I love spending time with teachers. Julie, I hope certainly you are not angry. I love you very much. Since family control. I really do. Off the cuff, I find that we can make a big difference. I really hope. I look at you colleagues, I look at Sister Dolores here, and the passion they have. I look at Mr. Miao, one of the shortest surnames, Miao. But he talks long, like I do. I look at Mr. Isaacs, Mr. Williams, Mrs. Williams. I look at Mr. Simply Kuyaman, and with him you can see what promotion does to a person's particular life. I look at all of you, and I see hope. I have not seen a region, perhaps except Geronimo, you may correct me, that does these kinds of things like you do. You are on holiday. You could have been with your families.
It's not holiday yet.
Here you are. Here you are. Here you are. And you deserve our total support. Why do you think the council is here? Here you are. I look at Rochelle Isaacs. The family is teachers. Mr. Isaacs, Mrs. Isaacs, the sisters in Orayunda teaching. This is the last one. Daughter. They are grooming the daughter now. Stand up, daughter. Stand up, stand up. It's a picture teacher. Isaac, huh? You see? Mama again? They are here. They are here, you are here. And we applaud. Barista that is harping on the other side, we applaud. It is not easy, colleagues, I can tell you. honestly speaking, off record. Even the salaries, let me tell you, even the salaries of governors are not wonderful. Rare. Because for what you must do, you get so little, but you cannot say it because apparently it will be immoral. But fact to fact, all of us have challenges for salaries and benefits. What makes other people think that politicians live large and fools we are, because we also dress up in second-hand clothes from Germany, is highly expensive government-owned vehicles that make the thing look glamorous. It's not glamorous politics. Positions of CEOs, it's you make a killing. But as civil servants, salaries and benefits will never be enough. It is only sufficient for you to do the basics. And perhaps it is designed to teach you discipline. Perhaps it is designed to teach you discipline. Do more with living, not less living. That's why Mr. William looks the way he looks, because it's not meat, for instance. All the young teachers, please stand. Below 35, the young ones, please stand. I want to see the young ones. Mrs. Daniels is 16. She's 16 years. Please stand, Mrs. Daniels. 16. Don't get ideas. Now, colleagues, we are on the same boat. I graduated last year from you. I was an old man, grown man. But you see, you must stay in the profession. Don't jump from this profession to other professions because it is difficult. Stay put. Hang in there. Because the rest of us expect you to transform our society through your effort, through our children. Our children. That's the expectation. Hang in there. And Godspeed. God bless you all. On that note, I officially declare the education conference for teachers conference officially open and